the best way to do this, because I have to flip back and forth too much, is just to do it from my phone. So, A coach leaves the station at 10 a.m. and reaches Gloucester Station at 11:30 a.m. It stops here for half an hour, then it carries on for 30 minutes, reaching Worcester for 40 kilometers later. So it's going to leave at 10 a.m. The time doesn't really matter. The 10 a.m. doesn't matter, but it travels for an hour and a half. So we know that it's going to travel for an hour and a half. Then it's going to stop for half an hour, and then it's going to carry on for 30 minutes, and going up to 40 kilometers later. So this is the kind of graph we're looking for. So we have 1, 3, 4, and 6 that it could possibly be. This one goes the wrong way. So we're looking for something for an hour and a half to start. So 1 goes for 2 hours, so that's not going to work. 3 goes for an hour and a half, rests for 30 minutes, and then continues traveling for another 30 minutes. And it travels from 60 to 100, which is 40 kilometers. So number 3 is A. It's not 4 because that's 2 hours, and it's not 6 because that's only an hour. All right, so B. A cyclist rides back toward home for 15 minutes. So now if we're going back toward home, we're going down. At the bottom of the hill, she stops for half an hour for a drink. She continues uphill for the remaining 12 kilometers. So the back is a key word. So the only one that we noticed before that goes back, 5 goes back and 9 goes back. So we are traveling for the first 15 minutes. So this is not 15 minutes because the half hour is here, so 15 would be in the middle there. Here, half hour is here, so here's our 15 minutes. She rests for half an hour, so 15 and 15 is half an hour. And then she continues for the remaining 12 kilometers, there's 12, to get back home. So this has to be B. Okay, a car travels at a constant speed for 2 hours on the motorway. It stops at a service station for 2 hours, then travels in heavy traffic for 30 minutes. So a car travels at a constant speed for 2 hours. It stops for 2 hours and then travels heavy traffic, so it's not going to go very fast, for 30 minutes. So it's going to look something like that. So again, it's going to be one of those first graphs that we did first. So here's 2 hours. Number 1 is 2 hours, stopping for 2 hours, but then this one continues for 30 kilometers, heavy traffic, so it's not as steep, and we're going from 120 to 150, which is 30 kilometers. So number 1 is C. All right, D. A bus leaves school at 9 a.m. and gets to its destination at, I think that's 10:30 a.m. So we have an hour and a half. It's traveling. The children look around the museum for an hour and then return back to school by midday. So we're looking for an up, down, up. So we're looking for the first one to be an hour and a half. This is for 2 hours. So the other, we have 2 more, up, down, up. So we have this traveling for 3 hours. And this one travels for an hour and a half.
Is it a box?
That's what we were looking for, an hour and a half, and then museum for an hour. And then returning back to school at midday. So this would be our D. A toddler rides his bike up a pavement for 10 meters. So we're going to look for something with 10 meters. He then turns around and rides back 2 meters from home. He hits a bump and falls off his bike. Something with 10 meters. Don't see any 10. It's 12 meters. Oh, this one must be 10. Sorry, the numbers are a little bit hard to read. So 10 meters. Turns around and rides back 2 meters from home. He hits a bump and falls off of his bike. So I guess they're saying that for this one it takes 4 seconds for him to turn around, starting to ride back. He doesn't quite make it home. We have 2 meters before he makes it home. So this is E. Okay, a motorbike rides for 36 miles at a steady speed. Okay, good. She stops to read the map for 15 minutes, then rides for the remaining 24 miles at a very illegal fast speed. So the motorbike rides for 36 miles at a steady speed. 36 miles at a steady speed. She stops for 15 minutes, then she rides the remaining 24 miles very fast. So it's going to be really, really sharp. All right, so 36 miles is what we're starting with. All right, I found one. Here's 36. So she's going steady speed for 36. She reads for 15 minutes, 60 to 75, and then continues very, very fast for the next 24 miles. So 6 is F. All right, G. A man drives to his friend's house who lives 60 kilometers away, stops for an hour, then returns home. So this is going to be one of these 60 kilometers, stops at his friend's for an hour, and then returns home in 2 hours. So we're finding something that goes up to 60. There's one that goes up to 60, stops for 2 hours. No, sorry, stops for 1 hour and returns home in 2 hours. So this would work for G. And then we have H. A cyclist rides for 2 hours, traveling at constant speed. He then stops for 30 minutes and then continues for another 18 miles. So we are on, it could be 4. That's really the only one it could be. So let's just double check that that's right. So travels for 2 hours. He then stops for 30 minutes and then goes for another 18 miles. So this is H. And then the last one. A train traveling back to Bristol after 15, so it's going to be a down because it's traveling back. So after 15 miles, a tree has fallen in the track, so it has to stop for 20 minutes to be cleared, and then it travels the remaining very slowly. So we are left with only this middle one. Let's just double check. So it's going to go for 15 miles, stop for 20 minutes, and then continue the rest of the way very slowly. So we have I. So there is the answer.